You guys okay? Riley, where are you going, buddy? Is your phone? Oh, okay. Good. Phone. Alright, so what we're doing today, you have a compare and contrast assignment and an expository body paragraph assignment, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at two monologues, alright? One is from Romeo and Juliet, and one is from The Merchant of Venice, okay? We're going to compare and contrast those, and then you're going to write an expository body paragraph. Why would I make you write just a body paragraph?
Because you want us to.
That is true. Nailed it. I want you guys to practice for your time to write next week, okay, to make sure we have the format down. So we're going to do a practice run today. So go ahead and click on compare and contrast. Raiden. What time is it? 8:01. Look, he's like, please don't make me. I'll let it slide because it's Friday. All right. So, Caesar. Let me know when we're all in this document.
I am not.
Sophomores, let me know when we're all in this document.
Oh. Well, I did.
Nate, shh. I'm not talking to you. Noah, Riley, are we there?
My mom's calling me.
Yeah, good. Huh?
Yeah.
No, we're usually.
There.
Good job, Janessa. Proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
Hannah, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, Haley, you there?
Do you want us to make a copy?
Yes. Oh, shoot. Did I put the actual...
Put it as view only.
Oh, yeah, make a copy. Okay. I was like, everyone's going to edit the same document. Alright, so on the left, you have Romeo's speech in Romeo and Juliet, and on the right, you have Portia asks for mercy in The Merchant of Venice, okay? Both speeches are down here. We'll get to that in a second. So what I'm asking you to do is compare each speech and how it is done, okay? So in the first, you're going to describe the situation, who is benefiting under current conditions, okay? So, actually... Let's focus on that. Who is the speaker speaking to? Call for action. What must be done? Okay, so if it's a soliloquy, monologue, and aside, what must be done? What is the speech about? I'm going to give you both of these are monologues. Okay, so we've spoken to another person. Actually, one's soliloquy, one's monologue. Ethos. How do they utilize ethos? What is ethos? Credibility, an appeal to credibility. Okay, so does the speaker have credibility, and how are they using that to persuade the audience? Pathos, Riley Moon, what's pathos? Yes, an appeal to emotion, good job. Okay, so is the speaker using emotion to persuade? Braden Schroeder, what is logos? Good, appeal to logic. Okay, so how are they using the appeal to logic to persuade the audience? Alright, figurative language. Do they use figurative language? It's Shakespeare, so I'm going to guess yes. Okay, what do they use? Do they use metaphors, similes, personification, allusion? And I have more for you down here. Allusion, parallelism. What is parallelism? What remind me?
Repeating the same setup of a sentence over and over again to get across your point.
The structure. Okay, it's parallelism is a repeating of the structure. So just like parallel lines, it's the same structure repeated over and over. Alright, like I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. Alright, delivery, the tone and the way the speaker delivers the speech. What is tone? Kiara.
It's like the voice of the author.
Yes, the author's attitude towards the subject. Okay, so the way that they come across, what is their attitude? Repetition, do they utilize repetition? Because remember yesterday in the speech they constantly said, Rome is, or in Julius Caesar they were talking about, they said one man like 3 different times, right? They're like, is Rome big enough for one man? One man, he's constantly emphasizing and repeating the fact that one man shouldn't have all that power. Effectiveness, who is more effective in achieving their purpose and why? Alright, so do you guys get what you're doing? Do you need to fill out every box? No. One of them, no. It's a good day for Noah, you don't have to do all of it, okay? If you don't catch an illusion, like let's say there's not an illusion in one of them, you can't really put anything for an illusion, right? So if you don't see it, if it's not there, don't just make something up. Just say not applicable to NA in it. Alright, so, which one do you guys want to start with? Romeo and Juliet or Portia asks for mercy? Romeo and Juliet. Okay. So, Romeo and Juliet have met at a party at Juliet's house. Romeo has fallen in love with her because, in all of the good Shakespeare, it's love at first sight. And creeps into her garden to see her. He, like, jumps over a wall. Yeah, boys, don't do this, okay? He jumps over her wall out in her yard, and is in her yard, and is watching her as she's on her balcony.
Whoa.
Okay? I know, it's real creepy. Shakespeare thought it was romantic, but in today's age, you'd be dialing 911. So, Romeo's in the courtyard, and Juliet's on her balcony, just like reminiscing on the world, okay? He doesn't yet know that Juliet has also fallen in love with him. So they both love each other, but they don't know it, because they just met. And now Romeo is just chilling in her courtyard, alright, while Juliet is off thinking about who knows what, okay? So, if the speaker is speaking, but the audience doesn't know that he's speaking to her, is it a soliloquy or monologue? Huh? It's a soliloquy because he's talking to himself. Eden, do you have a late pass, buddy?
No, I don't.
Go grab one, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it's 8:07. I'm sorry. I'm mean.
Wait, what?
I said I'm sorry. I'm mean.
Alright.
Please forgive me. Okay. All right. Ready? Is everyone here? Okay. We're gonna read through it. And we're gonna break it down together. Ryan, do you have a late pass?
Wait, where are those?
Why? Bye, Ryan.
That's rude.
So rude. I take offense to that. No, I'm kidding. All right, ready? Are we all here? Sophomores. Okay. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. This not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars. As daylight doth a lamp, her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's start with this. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? What is he talking about? Yes. Okay, it says, but soft, what light through yonder window breaks? So, she's coming out onto her... Let me say this thing for you, okay? My table is the balcony. Romeo is chilling creepily in the courtyard, right? Juliet, he sees the window coming through her, like, patio doors. She opens it, she comes out. Okay? Then he says... It is the oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This board is going to be the death of me. Okay. It is the east. It is. I give up. Thank you. Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. What is he saying there? What's he saying? Janessa? Using what type of device? Is it using like or as?
No.
So is it a simile?
No, it's metaphor.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Okay, what's happening? It's nighttime, right? So what's shining? The moon. Okay, so he's saying, arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. So who is he comparing? The moon and who?
The sun.
Juliet. Okay. And who is he saying is more beautiful or more fair? Juliet. Okay. He's saying, sun, come up and kill the moon, who's jealous of this beautiful woman. Okay. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it, cast it off. Still talking about her beauty. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. Okay, what's he saying? No, Maitland. He says, it is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. Janessa.
Isn't he saying like he wishes that she knew that he loved her?
Yes. Okay. He says, oh, that she knew she were. Like, oh, I hope, like, what if she knew that she was my love? Okay. This is so dramatic. All right. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? What in the world is he talking about? Think about how far away he is from her. Can he hear her talking?
No.
Because if Kaya's like in class right now, like with you all, she's like,
Well,
no.
I already, everything that you guys are doing right now, I've already done last term, so it's like
It's a
interesting,
review.
because you guys are doing it way better than I was taught freshman year learning Shakespeare with Bacchus.
Kaya's just sucking up to me already.
No, not at all.
'cause-
Like, it's just, I like watching you teach it better than you did, because we basically taught ourselves in that class, and then we would play hack the sack with it.
My goal is to teach you guys.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of, that's my goal in life. All right, she speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Okay. Obviously she can't hear him, so he can't hear her. Okay. So I'm going to explain it because I don't think you're going to get this, because you would need to see it. She is talking, but he doesn't know what she's saying, so he can see her mouth moving. Okay, so he says she speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Like, what is she talking? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. This not to me she speaks. Okay? So he's saying, she's not speaking to me. Like, what is she talking about?
Should we just watch the scene?
Two of the fairest, actually you will on Monday. Huh?
That was the last one.
Oh, the scene? No.
I watched the old one. It's way worse.
They're all bad, honestly. They're all bad. Okay, now here is this is the biggest use of figurative language, so pay attention for your sheet, okay? Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres until they return. What in God's name is happening? Liz, you want to go through this while I'm trying to figure it out? So he says, there's two of the fairest stars in all of the heaven. They're having some business. Do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return.
Is he saying that her eyes are like the stars?
Mm-hmm. Vanessa, did you want to keep going?
Is he talking about, like, that they're star-crossed lovers?
That's probably where this term came from. But he's also saying the two fairest stars in heaven, the two most beautiful stars in heaven, they've got some business to do, right? And they're going to ask her to use her eyes in return. So that once they return, she can have her eyes back. So he's saying her eyes are so like glorious and beautiful they could be the two most beautiful stars in heaven. All right? Guys are like, I need to figure out how to talk to ladies after this, right? All right. What if her eyes were there, they, in her head, the brightness of her cheek would shame those stars? Aiden, you want to try? You want to try? Let's go, okay? What if her eyes were there, they, in her head, the brightness of her cheek would shame those stars? Let's break it down, okay? So, what if her eyes were there? What are they talking about? What if her eyes were where? Well, remember what we just talked about. Okay, we just talked about this, right? The two fairest stars in all the heaven. So he says, what if her eyes were there? Where? Heaven in the sky. Okay. They in her head. What does he mean by that? They in her head. The eyes that she has in her head. The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars. What does that mean? The brightness of her. Keep going. You got it. You had it. You were going to say that her cheeks are shiny, right?
Yes.
You had it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I can't. It must be Marianne. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Bye. All right, Aiden. So he says the brightness of her cheek would shame those stars. What does that mean? Her her cheeks are shiny, right? Her cheeks are beautiful and shiny, that they would shame those stars. So even the two most beautiful stars in all the heaven, her beautiful cheeks would put those stars to shame. Okay? All right. As daylight doth a lamp, her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. Okay? Okay, one more time, I'm going to repeat that. As daylight doth a lamp. What does that mean? As daylight doth a lamp. So, lamp and daylight, what's similar between them? Light, okay. So as daylight is a lamp, her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright. Okay? So, her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. What did she say? He's saying, sorry. Okay. If her eyes were in heaven, he's still talking about her eyes, okay? This is like 12 lines of her eyes. If her eyes were in heaven, would through the airy stream so bright, okay, so through the air they would stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. When do birds sing? Do you hear birds singing at night?
Yeah.
Do you? I've never heard birds, like, singing at night. Okay, so when do birds typically sing? Day. Okay. So he says, huh?
So bright and beautiful.
The birds would think it was daytime. Okay. Welcome, children. All right. See how she leans her cheek on her hand. That's actually really literal. So she's like, like leans her cheek on her hand. Okay. And he says, now it gets weird. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Okay, so now he's like, I hope on that glove that I can touch her face.
Wait, you make that sounded so funny.
I know. You guys don't get it yet, but Shakespeare is really funny. Like, it's supposed to be comedy, but it's so hard to understand what he's saying that you guys don't get it. Like, that's hilarious. He's like in her courtyard. Like, oh, I wish I was that glove on your hand. Like, okay?
I started laughing, like, you're yelling at us for laughing.
Yes.
I'm like, it's funny!
Guys, this is not a normal relationship. Okay? Don't aim for this. Alright. So, let's go. Let's go here. Oh, wait, we're going up.
Oh my god.
I give up.
I give up.
Alright, so fill this out on your own as best as possible. Okay? So describe the situation. Who is the speaker speaking to? Okay, himself. About who? What must be done? What's his call to action? What's he trying to get here?
Trying to get Juliet to love him.
Yes. Okay. Ethos, pathos, logos, figurative language. I want you guys to do this really quickly. We've about 10 minutes. Merchant of Venice is really interesting because it's kind of like a religious, the play is about two religions butting heads. So it's like half the characters are Jewish and half the characters are Christian. And that's kind of like the main conflict. So, I'll wait till everyone's eyes are up here. All my sophomores. I almost was like, okay. So Portia asks Shylock for mercy. This is the Merchant of Venice, okay? So Shylock is a Jewish moneylender, okay? So in today's world, a bank. Okay, you get lent money from a bank, right? In this play, it's a person. So Shylock, a Jewish moneylender, lends money to Antonio, who is also his enemy, okay? Shylock is Jewish and Antonio is Christian, and that's kind of where the big conflict in the play happens. So Shylock sets the security deposit as a pound of Antonio's own flesh. Okay, so it's like, if you can't pay me back, I will take a pound of your own flesh. Okay, like your skin. Antonio's ship is lost, so he cannot pay back his loan. Shylock brings Antonio to court for his pound of flesh, okay? So Antonio can't pay him back. Shylock's like, we're going to court, bro. And he can't do it, okay? So then Portia, who has a crush on Antonio, dresses up as a lawyer to defend Antonio, okay? So this is her first speech to Shylock. So she's speaking to one other person. What's that called? Monologue. Good job. Mono means one. Remember. Okay. Janessa? Ready?
Can you just write it to monologue?
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above the sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the heart of kings, and is an attribute to God himself. And earthly power doth then show likest God's, when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, thou justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow, the strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there. Okay? So, we're going to break it down. So the top! The quality of mercy is not strained. Okay, what's the entire topic of this speech? What is she begging for? Mercy, okay? This whole thing is about mercy. What is mercy? Forgiveness, okay? So, when you bomb an essay, okay, and get an F on an essay, I show you mercy by allowing you to revise it. See that? Mercy, children. Okay. The quality of mercy is not strained. What does that mean? The quality of mercy is not strained. The quality. It's not hard to give mercy. Okay? It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. What's he saying? What drops from heaven onto earth? Mercy. Okay? Rain is a metaphor for mercy. We're literally interpreting it. That's fine. Okay? So he's saying mercy drops to heaven. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. Okay, so how's she trying to persuade him? Yeah, she says it is twice blessed. So it's blessed both ways, okay? It's blessed if you give it, and it's blessed if you take it. You see what she's trying to persuade him? Okay. 'Tis mightiest in the mightiest. It becomes the throned monarch better than his crown. What's she saying now? It's better than power, right? It's better than being in power. Good. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. Someone tell me what's happening. His scepter shows the force of temporal power. Do you guys know what temporal means? That's
Time.
it. What?
I think.
Did you say time?
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know.
I'm thinking of a different temporary. I think is what you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying relating to worldly as opposed to spiritual affairs. Okay, so he's saying his scepter shows the force of like earthly power. So mercy shows the force of power that you can give on this earth. Like the biggest power you can give is mercy on someone. The attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. So he's saying that some kings fear giving mercy. But mercy is above this sceptered way. It is enthroned in the heart of kings, and it is an attribute of God himself. Okay? Noah, what's happening? But mercy is above this sceptered way. It is enthroned in the heart of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. So what's she doing right now?
She's like mercy best in saying like God himself.
Yeah. She's like, you'll be like God if you show mercy, because he shows mercy. Okay? And earthly power doth then show likest God's when mercy seasons justice. What does that mean? Braden. And earthly power doth then show likest God's when mercy seasons justice. Okay, let's do it together. So earthly power doth then show likest God's. So on earth, your power is closest to God's when what? Yes. Okay, when what? Okay. So, you're closest to the power of God on earth when you choose mercy over justice. So, if you don't take his pound of flesh, you'll be just like God. Therefore, Jew, thou justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us shall see salvation. Okay? What's he saying? What's she saying, sorry?
She's saying that, like, if he goes for justice instead of mercy, then there won't be any salvation for him and he'll be a bad person.
Yes, because he won't be like God, right? Do you guys see how that happens? Do you see where we're at? And that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. So that same hope of choosing mercy over justice, it teaches us to use mercy in life. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow the strict court of Venice, must needs give sentence against the merchant there. Okay? So she's basically explaining why mercy should be given over justice. Okay? How does she do it? She alludes to who? God. Okay. What else does she do? Does she use ethos, pathos, or logos?
Well, at the really top, it says she dresses like a lawyer. She uses a lot of logos because she's like, saying if you show mercy, then you're going to be like God.
Yes. She's logically being like, if you do this, then this, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. So ethos, she's dressed as a lawyer. Logos. Okay, does she use a little bit of pathos?
A little bit.
Yeah, you could say that like she's appealing to his like desires to like have power, right? Because she's saying the true power is to show mercy.
And she also says that, like, if you don't show mercy, then, like, there won't be any hope for you of salvation. So it's
Yes. Okay, you're gonna be doomed forever if you don't. Okay. Figurative language? Yes. What does she compare the power of giving mercy to? Rather than, okay. What is she comparing the power of giving mercy to? Look at the highlighted area on my board, kiddo. Oh yeah, huh? Like you can't see that there. Yes. Okay, so all that power of giving mercy, she's using a metaphor to compare it to the power of a king, the crown, the scepter. Good. Okay. All right. Expository body paragraph assignment. You're going to click it. You're going to copy and paste this and make a copy. Okay. Are we all here? You should be looking at what I'm looking at right now. Either up on here or on your computers. I'll wait for everyone's eyes. Janessa. Okay. Okay. To practice your expository essay writing, you will write an expository body paragraph on either Romeo's speech in Romeo and Juliet or Portia asks for mercy in The Merchant of Venice. Okay? So pick, which one do you think that you understood better and which one do you think you could write a paragraph on better? Talking about how the rhetorical devices achieve the purpose. You already did a comparison of the two, analyzing for rhetorical devices, so the hard part is already done. Okay? Complete the following steps and submit this document once done. Here's the prompt. Shakespeare utilizes several rhetorical devices throughout his plays, and particularly during monologues and soliloquies. Analyze either Romeo's speech or Portia asks for mercy for rhetorical devices and explain how the character utilizes these rhetorical devices in order to persuade the audience in his or her speech. Okay? So, choose the play. Is anyone doing Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
Who's doing Merchant of Venice? Oh, we're on Romeo's lovesick boat. Okay? So, you're going to put Romeo and Juliet. Step 2, the thesis statement. Okay? Remember, you're only doing one body paragraph, so you need to answer the thesis and then put your first claim. So, here's an example. In Julius Caesar, Cassius effectively persuades Brutus through a speech that utilizes an allusion to the Colossus of Rhodes. Okay? So go ahead and put your thesis statement. Remember, the question says, explain how the character utilizes rhetorical devices in order to persuade the audience in his or her speech. Okay? So, what is Romeo trying to do? He's trying to like persuade himself that he's like super invested in her, right? That he loves her. And how does he do that? What are you going to talk about? Which rhetorical device? Someone give me an example of what they're going to talk about.
His appeal to pathos.
Okay, so you're going to do your paragraph in its appeal to pathos.
I do metaphors.
Yeah. Okay. Remember, you have this entire list here to help you. You can use other ones too if I didn't list one that you found.
If you pick figurative language, do you only have to pick one?
Yeah.
Or you can pick like just figurative language in general?
You do figurative language in general, and then hit a couple of them. Illusion, okay, you could do ethos, you could do repetition, the tone, okay, his like absurd love tone. Parallelism, he does use parallelism, he uses repetition, okay. So what's that rhetorical device that you want to focus on? Step 3, the body paragraph, okay. No intro, no conclusion, you're just developing a body paragraph. So, hit me with your transition and topic sentence, the first reason. Hit me with your evidence, your quote to prove your claim. Hit me with your explanation, how the evidence proves your claim, and your concluding sentence. Okay? You have 30 minutes. You should be able to get this done.
Can we add an extra box at the bottom of this?
Yeah. If you don't want to use that, go ahead. Or like if you want to do it separately, that's fine. Any questions?
Is this a message on